This is Ray Mooney's Wild World of Wet Shaving. Let's begin. Hey everyone, this is Ray Mooney. Welcome back to the show. Today I'm talking to someone who's a true artist and craftsman. I find his creations just incredible. And he's also, I would say, the most international guest, certainly the furthest away from me that I've interviewed so far. So I'm really thrilled to welcome Trevor Woolfson from Wolf Blades. Welcome, Trevor.
Thanks, Ray. It's great to be on your show, and
It's
I hope I can answer all your questions.
I'm sure you can. They're pretty easy questions, but it's, to get to know you a little bit and to find out all the hows and whys about what you do, or why you do what you do. So, I mean, the first question would be, just because this is the space that I sort of talk about, are you actually a wet shaver?
Absolutely. So I use my own products pretty much every day.
Oh, do you? Great.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, progressively each year I look at the design for the year and I try and improve on the next year's models and stuff like that. So my end goal is to have the best shaving razor on the planet at the end of the day.
Wow, that's
So
incredibly ambitious. And, judging by the look of your products, I might have to agree without having tried one, of course.
yeah, we'll definitely have to get you to try one of my blades. But
I'm keen and willing, no pun intended. So I'm curious, how did this all begin for you, this wet shaving journey?
So I've been an artist pretty much from a kid. I've loved making art and design's been a very close part of my whole career.
Okay.
I started out in lighting design,
Oh,
in metalwork, things like that. So I've been involved with metalwork and design pretty much my whole life.
okay.
And at some stage when I got out of the lighting industry, I went into more of the brands. So I had Vespa Scooters South Africa, Vespa being a good Italian brand. So I learned a lot about branding and things like that. And in my journey through Vespa and my travels internationally, I started getting quite an interest in straight razors,
Yeah.
um, as it was a very big mods and rockers thing in the 50s and early 60s in the UK,
Right.
where the dressed up in their suits and had their little scooters going, and they used to carry straight razors because they didn't lock, so they didn't end up going to jail for carrying a blade.
Interesting.
And then it was that Quentin Tarantino movie, Reservoir Dogs,
Of
where the
course.
guys got cut off. And I've always been a metal guy, and I thought I'm going to make a really sharp blade.
Okay.
And through that, collecting vintage razors, looking at reconstructing them, and also getting into a business when I do get older that I can do on my own.
Right.
So there was many options: jewelry making, knife making, all that type of industry. And I just had this thing for straight razors. So I deconstructed a vintage one, and using my design experience through my life, I started redesigning a modern format of a straight razor because no one's really changed the design in hundreds of years.
Right.
And every year it's progressing to be a more ergonomically fitting razor. I do the most ergonomics of any of the makers. There's finger notches, there's all sorts of things to make the razor disappear in your hand.
Interesting.
So it's ergonomically completely different to all the other makers. And because I still do everything by hand, it takes me between 30 to 40 hours to make one of my blades.
Wow.
Hence, I've still got to make a living, and hence the price is a little bit higher. But then you're getting something completely different to other makers. And second to that, I specialize in Damasteels because I'm a firm believer in stainless steels. I live on the beach in Cape Town,
Nice.
so I've got the sea weather to deal with, and carbon blades would be an absolute nightmare for rust. So I've been working with Damasteel for over a decade now. I've got a
Wow.
really close relationship with the guys. and I specialize in Damasteel. So I'm one of the an advisor for RWL 34 worldwide because of my finishes, and I work with that steel because of the grain structure. The
Yes.
grain structure is exceptionally fine, and it gives you the most unbelievable shave, and it holds the most edge retention out of any other steel on the market. So
Interesting.
an edge on my blade will last you between 18 months and 2 years,
No
and it's
kidding.
going to give you a smooth shave. So there is no, for being the best products, you need the best materials, and that's the market I'm going after. I want a Woolf blades to be that number one raise in your collection every
Right.
single time.
Okay. That's I love that. And certainly the designs are far out, as they say. You don't see many razor designs like that. They're quite modern and unique.
Yeah, so I've taken quite a unique approach. I still hand sketch all my designs.
Oh wow. Okay.
There's no AutoCAD. Everything's cut by hand. Everything's shaped by hand, and I use a like when I'm designing a new blade, I normally carry it around with me for a few days, and I change subtle little differences, like how it fits in the hand, where the balance is, and things like that. And I've been doing this over a decade now,
Amazing.
and I think I'm at that sweet spot of razor design.
Yeah,
So my razors look different, but they function 120%,
sure.
and they'll give you a perfect shave.
I mean, I've seen loads of YouTube videos with people using your razors, and yes, the consensus is always the same. Everyone is sort of blown away by the edge and by the shave that they get. I'm thinking of Greg Gallant, who I just watched one of his videos the other day using a razor he recently got from you, and he was,
So Greg was quite skeptical in the beginning. It was quite a while before I did sell to Greg, and he's a
okay.
really good, honest guy.
He is
So
indeed.
his video on my blade, and I was actually also taken back that I got the triple A rating from him. Um, and he really liked the ergonomics of the blade, the way it felt in his hand, and the balance.
Right.
Um, so from those type of feedbacks, I know I'm moving in the right direction. And obviously, using my own products on myself, um, I can feel when I'm improving, and I can feel when I'm going backwards.
Right.
So the constant goal is to be the number one razor maker.
Yeah,
I am competitive like that. I've been competitive my whole life in anything I do.
sure.
From the age of 4, I started BMX racing to triathlon to Ironman competitions to comrades to everything. So I do
Wow.
like to achieve. And so yeah, my designs at the moment are different. I think every maker starts a trend on the way they see the outlook of a razor,
Yes,
and I think all the makers around the world have definitely got their unique characteristics. Um, but I do like to stand out and make sure that my stuff is different to everyone else.
absolutely.
I've sold literally hundreds and hundreds of blades now, and each one's just getting better and better.
That's
So
fantastic.
I stick to my basics. I use my standard materials. I don't deviate in materials. I just can't see the point of spending 30 or 40 hours on a design and the material is wrong or it doesn't heat treat right. So I've perfected my steels and I've perfected my shapes and my designs. And I know when you receive one of my razors, it's going to be the best razor in your collection by far.
That's fantastic. Love it. I love the confidence and I love the certainty. That is great. Your branding is also, I work, my day job is a graphic designer. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm quite impressed by the consistency of your branding as well.
So this year I've gone full retail.
Oh,
I've
have
got
you?
my own retail.
Okay.
So I've actually set the business up where I am is a studio, which is upstairs to my retail shop.
Ah,
So tourists can physically come see me working while they can purchase my products downstairs. I've also diversified the range a lot. So I've got a lot of my own shaving soaps, pre-shave, post-shaves.
Okay.
I do brushes, I do safety razors. So anything man related, I've got in the retail shop, from pocket knives to Swiss Army knives to shaving brushes to shaving soaps, beard oils, beard balms, you name it. So
Fantastic.
yeah, I've embraced this journey 110%.
Yes.
And yeah, that's what I do full time now.
To me, that's reason enough to come visit Cape Town, you know?
Yeah, well, then welcome. It's a
Well, thank
beautiful.
you. On my list of places to see, I'm up in Canada, so it's quite a ways away, but always somewhere I've wanted to visit, and now that's even more incentive to do so.
So when it comes to your question on branding,
Yes.
I did a good decade with Vespa.
Okay.
It was an
Yeah.
internet brand. I learned a lot about brand identity. Um, I pretty much look the brand, I live the brand, and everything of mine is branded in
Yes.
some sort of a way or manner. So from the box to the packaging to the foam inserts to the instructions to the clothing to everything's branded as Wolf
Fantastic.
blades.
And your iconography, as I can see, sort of is a graphic representation of you, of your look. Um,
Yeah, so when I came up with the original logo, I had to
mhm.
match the brand. My mom always said, always look the part.
Right.
So it was fun at the time, but now I'm stuck with it.
I was about to
Because
ask. So now you can never shave your mustache or change glasses style, right?
so I'm pretty much making my own glasses now because I could never find a pair that actually fitted the brand. So I
Okay.
took the logo and I hand made my own glasses. I've got a
Amazing.
couple of pairs that I'm making carbon fiber and out of bone and all that type of thing. But
Incredible.
yeah, it seems, and people recognize me now, like internationally, if I'm at shows and things like that, they definitely associate me with the brand.
Sure.
So for me, it's definitely working.
Yeah, that's to me, that's a sign of a great success. And if they instantly know this is a wolf razor based on, the glasses and the mustache, that's fantastic. Do you
Yeah,
s- do you sell not the razors, but the soaps and all of the sort of shaving goods? Do you sell that anywhere else aside from your shop downstairs?
I do. It'll be available online. I'm busy with the new website now.
Okay.
As soon as your website gets 2 or 3 years old, it's old. So I'm busy now as we went into retail in the beginning of this year. So I've got a whole array of products. I'm busy with the new website design and development now.
Okay.
And within about 6 to 8 weeks, it will be all available online.
Wonderful.
And I've got quite a unique shaving soap. It's a black shaving soap because
Oh,
everything around my brand is black, but it lathers white.
yes.
It was about 2 years development to get the formula right. The pre-shave is excellent. The post-shave is wonderful. It's got a bit of tobacco scent leaf in it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, everything about the brand is high quality and high finish and everything like that. So who's been trying the shaving add-ons has been super impressed um, with what they're getting.
that's
So
great.
feedback from that side is good as well.
Yeah,
And yeah, as a natural progression for me to grow into the accessories would be the next good move for me.
sure. No, that makes sense. Slowly building a shaving empire. I see what you're doing. That's
Well, that's the
fantastic,
plan.
though.
Good.
Um, what was I about to ask? It just slipped my mind. Is there much of a wet shaving community in South Africa?
Not much.
Okay.
I think the biggest question here is I'm too scared. I'm going to cut my throat off. My response is never shave like a man until you shave with a straight razor.
I would agree.
So,
Yes.
um, look, I think South Africa has just been an education thing. So I've got Jacques from Dapper Shaves who puts a lot of effort into actually doing like a training YouTube tutorial type of
Yes.
thing. We train the guys. It's super easy. What I've started in South Africa is also quite unique. So we've taken top end barbershops. So where the guys are too scared to use my razor, they can
Yes.
still purchase a razor. And through Dapper Shaves, we've trained the barbers to give you that 35-minute ultimate shave. It comes with a Glenlivet whiskey, it comes with a Jack Daniels, it comes with an espresso, comes with a full facial massage.
Yeah.
It comes with the post shave, the hot towel, the cold towel. It's a 35-minute luxury experience. And then your razor stays within the barbershop. So it's like that whole
Oh,
John Wick experiment. So you go in with the coin, you hand your coin to the manager, and you get VIP treatment until your shave is done.
interesting.
Um,
I love that.
that's working quite nicely.
Yes.
The goal for Wolf Blades and Wolf Club would be in the next 5 years to get 10 barber shops around the planet to take on the concept, because for the barber shop, it's a no brainer. I'm asking each barber shop to sell 20 blades a year. So if you look at annuity income for a barber shop after year 3, they got 60 shaves a week, year 5, 100 shaves a week, which is about 600 shaves a month before they open the doors.
Sure.
Um, for me, I need to keep it limited because I can only make around 200 razors a year,
Okay.
and that's work pretty much Monday to Sunday. So I've got to keep it in a niche market and keep it contained. Um, but yeah, the guys who have the privilege of getting a Wolf Blades set up in their barbershops will be really unique in their whole town, their whole city, and things like that.
Yeah.
So it can't be duplicated, it can't be over engineered. It's a simple concept that makes it exclusive for those guys.
Sure. I love that concept. If and when you're ready to branch out to Canada, maybe I can assist and do some legwork for you. It would be a pleasure because I really love that
Can
idea.
definitely legwork because, like I say, my goal now is the next 5 years is to get 10 barber shops all around the planet. So I'm busy trying to organize something in Dubai now.
Oh, wow.
I'd like to get something up and running in the States.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd love London, Amsterdam. So if I can just get those major cities around the planet, um, and just have something exclusive for
Yeah.
those proper traditional barbershops, and
Sure.
it's something for them. And for me, it just makes business sense in the long run because I've got 20 blades from each barbershop coming in guaranteed a year.
Right.
Um, uh,
Plus any additional sales that might come from that because someone is so impressed with their shave.
yeah, so we're all trying to adapt to this post corona new world. And it's such a toss up because sometimes international shows work exceptionally well, sometimes they don't, sometimes people don't have cash with them. For us to travel like to the States, it's hard to get credit card facilities and things like that. So
Sure.
it shows are good, but they're not like they were post Corona. When you did a show post Corona, you were guaranteed you were going to go clean up and things like that. Now it's more of a marketing exercise, and everything is now digital. So you're between this analog and digital world where
Right.
people are now buying online. You need the right reviews, you need the right web presence, you need the right Instagram, you need the right Facebook. Um, and yeah, it's quite a transition to step into, especially when we start getting older. The
Hmm.
youngsters seem to navigate the World Wide Web a lot easier than we do
Tell
and
me about it.
understand it. So yeah, it's all been a big shift for me because I've always been bricks and mortar. People
Right.
buy my story, and I like to have that face to face with clients and things like that. But the world is changing, and we need to try and adapt to this big change.
Yes. Agreed. I almost feel that some of that will come back though, because it'll become too nameless and faceless doing all of these digital transactions. So the fact that you really
Okay. This is why
represent
I've
the
opened.
brand is great.
Yeah, this is why I've opened this full retail outlet in a little coastal town in Cape Town.
Yes.
So my goal is to educate the international crowds again, to get the tourists to come in to physically see me work,
Right.
to experience the story, to experience everything. So when they leave here, they've got that warm, fuzzy feeling of actually buying something that's authenticated and not just a Timu or a
Right. It's absolutely
Amazon
some
purchase.
copy of something. How long has the store been open so far?
We've only opened about 6 months ago.
Okay.
So it is a new store. It's a new work area. I've got a lovely view of the beach. I don't know if you can see out the
Oh,
window. There's the ocean.
wow. You're literally
So,
right on the beach. That's fantastic.
I've got the most amazing views, most amazing work energy.
Yes.
So hopefully this is going to produce really outstanding raises in the future.
That's fantastic. Well, your razors are apparently already outstanding. So, can it get even better? Maybe. Maybe.
I think it can. Like I still surprise myself. Like my best razor is still the razor I haven't made yet.
I love that.
Um, I I still get super excited every time I'm making something new.
Yeah,
It's the same fuzzy feeling as the first one. So yeah, each one's got a bit of character. Each one's got a bit of my soul.
right.
Um,
I saw something
that's
about a custom little doodle in each of the scales that you do.
I've been doing that doodle for I would say about 30 years now.
Oh,
Even
wow.
in school, I used to doodle over everything. And that little doodle going for many years. And when I started the razors, I actually doodle on the inside of every scale.
Right.
And and it's just been a hidden thing that I always put in my razors to put a bit of my soul into it.
Yes.
And then someone said to me a few months ago, like, dude, why don't you just advertise it? Because people don't know about that. So it was there for me to put in that I know that razor's got a bit of me in it,
Yeah,
but it is nice to actually start getting that out so people know that it is authentic and things
sure.
like that. So it's a little signature I do. I've been doing it on everything for the last I don't know how many years. So whenever I've got a Coke in my hand, it gets a Wolf Blades doodle on it. If it's a coffee at a restaurant or if it's a blackboard
Yes.
or wherever. So I'm trying to introduce that doodle as authentication that goes into every blade. Although we're in the technology of laser engraving and everything's nice and neat and things like that,
Yeah,
that's hence why I go back to the original sketches. Um, if you have a look around the workshop here, you're going to see all sketches all framed on the walls.
sure. Look
Um,
at that.
so, so everything's hand sketched still. Everything's got a doodle on it. So I just keep that authentication as much to my heart as I possibly can.
Yeah. No, that's great. And that really adds a personal touch. Like you said, in this age of, digital and sort of machine things, automation, that's a really nice touch. What inspires your designs?
Uh, I do come from, so I'm not an architect by train
Yeah.
by training, but I'm a designer and I love architecture and I love the flow. So everything to me has got to have a flow and a balance,
Yes.
like yin and yang. And yeah, so razors come from free sketches. Free sketches have got a lot of flow. I bring that flow into the steelwork, into the scale design. I also use a lot of high-end materials, high-end woods. Uh, a signature of mine is all my stuff is pretty much carbon fiber inlaid. So I
Okay.
laminate carbon fiber to the woods to keep it light and balanced, and
Yes.
obviously sealed from the elements and waters and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, so yeah, everything that the flow of the razor comes from my love with architecture, I would imagine, and furniture design. Um, and I see it coming through in the razors as well because my razors are very flowing shapes. There's no chunky square edges or anything like that. So everything fits and flows together.
Sure. And they're incredibly unique, some of the designs too. It's like nothing I've seen in the straight razor world.
Yeah, so I like the guys challenging me to all these, I call them sci-fi.
Yes.
So sci-fi is my interpretation of a straight razor in like 2050. So something that will be in the future.
Yeah.
I normally make about between 5 and 10 a year to keep them very exclusive. And I like playing with form and shape. So
Sure.
at the end of the day, they look exceptionally different. Um, I love it for the forums because everyone tells me you can't shave with them. And ironically, they're the best shaving razors out of the whole
Right.
lot.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great payoff.
They
Do you
have
do a
got a
lot?
unique,
Yes.
so they definitely got a uniqueness to it. It also it shows me that you can do any shape in a straight razor as long as it's got function at the end of the day. And the
Right.
function is to, so if it gives you a good shave, it doesn't matter if it's round, square, rectangle, like have a bit of freedom, you know?
Fair enough.
And
Absolutely.
it really gets the traditionalists in their comments with all sorts of weird and wondies. But at least they're talking about the brand, which is good for me.
Sure. And I imagine once they try it, they'll realize what a good shaver it is. So then they can, eat their
Yeah,
words.
they all definitely get a bit shocked. The guys that got the most comments to say never land up getting them because they don't want to be proven wrong, I would
Right.
imagine.
That's, their loss, I guess. And how did you learn this trade? How did this all
Look, I've been in steel and metal work and a lot of metal arts as a youngster.
okay.
I started out making a lot of metal sculptures, used to sell them on markets and things like that. So I've always had a connection to metal work. Like I said, I got to a stage where I wanted to do something uniquely on my own. I looked at the jewelry design, I looked at knife making, I looked at so many different little industries that I could get into that I could work on my but with my hands, keep me entertained and do something completely different.
Yes.
And then through my journey in life, I came across straight razors and thought that would be a something really interesting to get into. And from the purchase of my first razor and trying to learn how to use them, I got the bug.
Right.
So I would love more razor makers to be out there, but it is a tricky product to make. A lot of the knife makers don't like making them because of the high reject rate in the beginning.
Yes.
It's obviously a big learning curve. Like when I do blade show at Atlanta, there's like nearly 1,000 exhibitors, and I'm normally the only razor maker on board.
No kidding.
So
Hmm.
it still gives me a uniqueness. It's definitely a standout compared to the other guys. And I honestly got a good gut feeling with straight razors. They're going to come back into fashion like really strongly.
Yeah.
And if I'm 10 years ahead of the pack, it's still, it's, I'm still winning the race.
Of
So,
course, that'll establish you as an industry leader in any case, which is great. This
yes.
is a question that I ask to probably all of my guests. Do you think that we're in a golden age of wet shaving right now, or has that passed, or is it yet to come?
Yeah, I still think it's yet to come. I think the
Okay.
youngsters, if I look at my demographic age in the States, there's a lot of youngsters getting into straight razor shaving.
Oh, no kidding.
They want something authentic that their grandfather had, their father had.
Yes.
They don't want the disposable stuff anymore. The vintage cars, the classic cars are all coming back in. Vintage clothing, vintage styling, peaky binders look,
Right.
feel, fashion, things like that. So I don't even think we've really even entered into the straight razor return as yet. I
Interesting.
still think within the next 3 to 5 years, we'll see a huge increase in it, especially if there's other makers on board.
Right.
The more guys making it, the more popular it becomes, the better it is for everyone. So I would
Absolutely.
encourage at least every knife maker to start trying to make a razor, and let's make it popular.
Sure. Well, I'm trying to do my very little part by, promoting and purveying all of this stuff and, talking to people like you. So there you have it. Do you make knives as well, or is that something you've done?
I've made a kitchen knife for my wife, but
Okay.
I've never really into knives. I just think it's too much of a competitive market. Like I say, it is me on my own here.
Yes.
So I'd rather spend a week making razors and perfecting my craft than trying to do something else that's I'm jumping into a pond full of fish. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Sure. No, fair enough. What's involved? Can you sort of itemize the steps of what's involved in crafting one of your razors?
Yeah, so razor making is quite a difficult task. Um, so obviously, my first stage would be to come up with concept and design.
Yeah.
Then it would be a sketch. From the sketch, I would order the steels through Damasteel. Um, I would then hand cut each one of my razors out. Heat treating is a big process of razor making, especially on the Damasteels. It's quite a very precise heat treatment. It's also got a nitrogen quench and a annealing process. Yeah, so if you're heat treating a batch of razors, that's a day job on its own.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, and if you get anything wrong in the process along the way, yeah, then you're scrapping everything, you know. So if
Oh,
your
wow.
heat treats is not, you can't make a razor. Um, from that, I would grind my hollow grinds. So I'm doing a quarter hollow now, and a full hollow I've been doing for many years. A lot of the guys think my full hollow is a bit thin, so I started with the quarters about 2 years ago.
Okay.
They seem to be working exceptionally well. I still shave with the full hollow. I like the feedback. I like the noise.
Yeah.
Um, and the musical notes it gives me when I'm shaving. So technically, I can shave in the dark with the lights off,
Oh, wow.
and I know where the hair is. You know.
That's impressive.
uh,
Sure.
in conjunction, by the time I get to heat treat, I've already designed the scales. So it's a matter of G10s, carbon fibers, composite materials that I laminate together,
Yeah.
um, get that process going. So when I start my grinds, I've pretty much got the basis of the scales and everything put together. Um, I'm busy now. Funny enough, I've just clamped in a razor now, but you can have a look. So this is a new design.
Oh, at that.
So this is where we are at the moment. So it's got a carbon fiber inlay. It's
Yes.
natural wood. I've designed and done the wedge. So the wedges are also quite unique to me.
Yeah.
I've started the grind. So this is just your first stage of your grind. So although it looks like a razor now, I've probably still got 20 odd hours of physical labor and
Really?
sanding and everything like that on that stage because every one of my razors is in a mirror chrome polish.
Yes.
And those, sometimes I can spend about 4 to 5 hours just polishing the razor to make sure you got these perfect mirror effects.
Yes.
I like the mirror finishes because it repels water.
Does it?
So your
Okay.
yeah, so when water sits on it, it makes a bubble, and
Yeah.
you can flick the bubble off. And I'm
Interesting.
very OCD about cleanliness and keeping stuff neat. And so for me, my brain doesn't tell me the razor's ready until it's got a shiny finish.
Right.
So I spend a lot of time mirror polishing and stuff like that. That also does add to the price because, like I said, it's a good 5 to 6 hours per razor spent on
Sure.
just cleaning and polishing it and making sure there's not a mark on it at the end of the day. Um, and yeah, it's unique to what I'm doing. Guys hate
Absolutely.
the mirror polishes because of the time it takes, but I'm not scared to get the work done, so I just get stuck into it.
Yeah. And in the end, you're, purveying a product that is absolutely impeccable. Uh, perfectly designed, perfectly polished, all of that. So I think that that's great. And
Thanks.
it should command the price, of course, because it's really a
Look,
piece
I
of meat.
still think when I when you physically do the accounting part of the business and you look at your costings and your labor and everything like that, uh, my razors are still too cheap. So it's a good time to get them while
Right.
you
There
can.
you go. Hear that, listeners?
Yeah.
Time to buy. Um,
When you take a trade industry like a plumber or electrician, I'm talking in rand. So if we look at dollars, you're probably looking at $30 to $40 an hour that they charge you for a call out to plug in your washing machine.
sure.
And as an artist and a razor maker, I'm probably at like $10 an hour labor,
With all
which
the time. Yeah, of course.
and the skill and the effort and
That's
the
it.
life journey, everything like that. So I still don't think we're charging enough for the amount of time that goes into razor.
Yes.
Um, you've also got to break into a new market. So it's a fine balance between getting your price right, outpricing yourself, but a razor landing in at $650 is in reality worth probably double that.
Sure. Especially because
For
you're buying it for life. It's truly a one-time purchase that you can enjoy
yeah.
forever and pass on to the next generation.
And hence, this is why I've done the workshop on top of the retail shop. So I can actually explain to people that I'm not saying 30 to 40 hours. I can show them it's 30 to 40 hours.
Right.
And everyone's entitled to a living wage,
Of
So
course.
why
Of
can't
course.
we charge the correct pricing? So I think there's the education again. So if guys understand what goes into it, they they can understand what they're paying for,
Absolutely.
and
I've
so at
I've
the end
actually
of
have
the
to
day,
I've had to do that with some of my clients because they assume it's, oh, isn't it just two clicks of a mouse? And it's like, not quite. Why don't you sit next to me and watch the process? And then they can
yes.
understand and appreciate it a bit better. So I think that that's a great idea.
For me, if I could educate everyone out there to say that $650 as an entry razor price is cheap as chips, believe you me, that's exactly what it is.
Sure.
Um, Obviously, when you get to your patent Damasteels and stuff like that, the Damasteel billets. So I did a post a few months ago to actually show people like on a $1,000 razor, my cost on my materials is probably between $500 to $600.
Oh, wow.
Um, so you have to make the thing. That's just
Of
your
course.
raw materials.
Well, and you have to keep
And
the lights on and the power flowing through your machines and stuff, you know?
when I did the breakdown on that, I think my labor rate was like only $200 to make your razor,
Right.
which is cheaper than a Dovo or a
Yeah,
Gold Dollar or whatever.
that's right.
So
It's not enough.
yeah, it's not enough. So what you're getting, even though if you think it's a high entry price, is very cheap.
Well, you're also buying a unique piece of art as far as I'm concerned, functional art, that is, but it's something really, really special. It's not mass produced. It's, all the
So
hours that go into it.
asked me about 2 years ago to come in with a cheaper razor. So I approached Damasteel. We took the RWL as a bulk order. I brought the steel in at a cheaper price. I called it the Pro Series. I didn't do as much ergonomics. It was flat grind. So it was a razor that took me approximately 7 hours instead of 30 to 40 hours to make.
Right.
Um, Best value for money razor under the sun because you've still got your G10s, you've still got your pivot pin, that unique pivot pin I've used that's engineered. It's still made out of RWL34. It didn't
Right.
have a mirror chrome polish, it just had a satin finish. And I found them exceptionally hard to sell
No kidding.
at $425. So I would sell 10 razors at $1,000 to one at $425.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I had to go back to the drawing board and think, okay, well, I've entered the market as a a higher price razor maker, but I do use more exclusive materials. Um, I think the brand has grown into that market where it is the higher entry level, and stick to your knitting.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I've got back as an entry price at $650. But my best selling razors are in the region of about $1,200. So I'll
Right.
sell five $1,200 razors to one $650 razor. So
Remarkable. Yeah. So that proves it to you, I mean, that sort of says it all. So
yeah, and the most ironic thing is the best razor on the market would be your $425 razor that I could never sell.
right. Yeah, it's interesting that I saw one of your razors maybe on your social media with Valentino Rossi's color and number 46 on it. Is that
Yes, we born in bed. I've been on bikes my whole life. We been to umpteen amount of international Grand Prix around the world.
oh wow, okay.
We've had the opportunity to be VIP in pits, and we've met Valentino Rossi, Kevin Schwantz, Randy Mamola, all the guys. Mickey Doohan, we've sat and had a lunch with him.
No kidding.
So
Wow.
biking is part of my life. And when I found that specific color of that scale, it was the Valentino Rossi yellow.
Yeah,
So I had to be cheeky and put it in. Um,
I love it. That's I'm also a huge fan, and it's a dream of mine to attend the Moto Grand Prix. That's on my bucket list. It hasn't happened yet.
so when we're in the Vespa business, I was there for just over a decade, and because we used to visit the international EICMA shows and things like that, and work with the Alpine Star guys and the Dainese guys
Sure.
and the Acropovic exhaust and things like that. So we've got a lot of invites into MotoGP and the VIP access,
Right.
and pretty much landed up in Valencia every year for the last
Fantastic.
race. So I'm still MotoGP crazy, it's
Yes,
part of every day. I've always got a podcast on what's happening behind the scenes and things like that. So
that's
yeah, it's a
great.
big part of us.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Kindred spirits in that regards, for sure. That's wonderful. Are you the only maker who uses Damasteel? It doesn't seem quite, certainly not ubiquitous.
Yeah, so I've got a very good relationship with Damasteel, and I actually get used a lot by them because out of the knife industry, I'm probably the guy who takes their steels to the most extremes all the time.
Interesting. Okay.
So I grind the thinnest, I do everything to the harshest. I get the best mirror polishes, um, and I land up changing most of their patterns because on the full hollows, I get so thin down the spine that it actually changes the pattern
No kidding.
and things like that. So I work a lot with Roger, who's at the factory, and the designers there. I'll be releasing their 27 model. I've just released their new pattern at the show in Atlanta, because I get to show off, for them, they get to show off what their material is capable of in
Right.
the most extreme. I am pretty much probably Damasteel's only, well, put a commercial razor maker. I don't know if guys have made them in their garages or at home or on projects, but I don't see it often. It is the price point coming in when you're spending $500-600 on a piece of steel before you made a razor. I think that scares a lot of people.
Sure.
Um,
Sure. Especially if you don't necessarily know what you're doing and are just starting out in, playing
yeah.
around. Right.
So I would say you're going to throw away 50 razors before you start making one to sell.
Right.
That was my ratio. It's such a tricky grind to get right.
Sure.
Um, you need the right materials, you need the right processes. And I would say I dabbled in razor making for a good 2 years before even being able to make one that I could physically sell.
Interesting.
And I've still got my first one ever made. It's actually in a frame in the shop,
Lovely.
and it's terrible. It's absolutely disgusting.
That's why it's framed and not in use, I guess, right?
Yeah. And then I had this bee in my bonnet. I was going to make the best razors straight off the bat. And I got schooled very quickly that it wasn't so easy.
Yes.
Um, I like, so through my journeys, I've done a lot of Ironmans, and I've done Ironman Hawaii, and I
Wow.
came third in Australia in Ironman
No
in my
kidding.
age category. So the finish line is never a big problem for me. So if I'm in the starting gates, I'm going to get to the finish. Doesn't matter if I'm going to take 5, 10, 15 years. I'm not going to give up until I get it right.
That's great.
So yeah, the first couple of years making razors, thank God I had another business that could pay the bills.
Yes.
Um, but it's got to a point where I'm confident in the razors I'm making. Um, I'm happy with the results I'm getting. I'm happy with the feedback from the clients I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I think whoever gets a Wolf Blade razor is in luck, because they are limited to about 200 a year. And they're continuously just getting better and better, you know?
Sure. Of
So
course.
they've got a maker around the world that's got 110% dedication into making this perfect blade.
Yeah.
Like the old Japanese samurai sword makers, you know, once you're in it, you're in it. Like I say, I'm still excited about making every single razor. Every single razor's got a piece of me in it.
Yes.
And the end result is I want the client to have that experience as well, you know.
Right.
Um, a lot of the feedback I get is the smooth shave compared to the carbon steels. So I've managed to manipulate the RWL and to get the edge that it's going to give you a shave like you're shaving and putting butter on bread, you know. So you
Wow.
don't have that harsh, rough shave. Everyone gives me the feedback, the smoothest shave they've ever had.
Interesting.
And so like I've heard a few guys comment, like you were speaking to Rob Valentini the other day, who
Yes.
doesn't like the state because of the amount of work that has to go into it. But for me, I'd rather put the work into it and have the results. So,
Absolutely.
and stainless doesn't rust, it doesn't tarnish. Um, and at the end of the day, you want the net result is to have a good shave,
Of
you know,
course.
regardless of what it's made out of. So if you're getting a good shave from one of my razors, then I've achieved my goal.
Right. Indeed. Are you a collector? You mentioned, I think, before that you had a collection.
Uh, Look, I started with a few Philharmonicas and a few Dovos and things like that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, I immediately found everything about a traditional razor incorrect. So the balance was
Interesting.
off for me. I didn't have control of your pinky. So
Yeah.
all my razors, I use the pinky as like a rudder. So you've got that movement. So all the traditional razors, to me, it was an early 1900s design.
Yes.
They couldn't get it right. And then they made the tools and stamps for it. So that's why we got the traditionalists and the guys who like to experiment, I suppose.
Right.
Um, uh, with my design experience, I redesigned what a straight razor should feel like for me.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the results of guys that are traditional razors like Greg Galant and a few of the other bloggers and things like that, where they're quite pleasantly surprised about how good the razors actually feel in their hands.
Sure.
Um, so, yeah, to me, I have not got a big collection anymore. I've pretty much sold all the other stuff, but I do keep 2 or 3 razors from every year
Okay.
that I can see my progression.
Right.
And I like shaving with the new stuff. And then every now and again, every week or so, I'll go back to a razor from 4 or 5 years ago and
Interesting.
I'll shave with that. And the feedback is always good because those razors were not as good as the new ones. So it just keeps me moving in the right direction. If I find a razor that I made 3 years ago shaving better than the newer ones, then I go back to the drawing board and I see
Interesting.
why that razor is slightly better than the newer one, you know?
Right. Right.
So it's my own collection of progression more than
Yes.
anything else.
That's great. That's a great way to keep evolving and to sort of, go back and forth to see what works, what doesn't, and how you've evolved. So fantastic. As a bald man to another bald man, do you ever shave your head with a straight razor?
I do, yes.
Do you really? That's quite impressive. I'm trying to work up the guts to actually try that. A little fearful,
But
but
no, the trick is just grab a butter knife out your drawer, get your feel in your hand so it becomes an instinctive feel
yeah,
and how it does feel against the skin on your head.
sure.
And yeah, you'll be surprised how easy it actually is.
Interesting. That's inspiring. I might,
In fact, a lot
mutter
of
some
my
curse
new guys,
words under my breath while I'm bleeding from my head, but we'll see. It's a process, right?
in fact, a lot of like new clients that come in and when they tell me they're scared of shaving with a straight razor, I often tell them just go take a plain butter knife and put shaving cream on your face and see if you can scrape all of it off.
Right.
Just so your muscle memory gets your reflexes and everything get used to that movement.
Sure. That's actually a great
And
idea.
so yeah, it does work, and
Okay.
guys do progress to straight razors eventually.
That's quite impressive though, because not many people do that. But the more we speak, the more I realize you're quite unique in your ways. So that's wonderful and keep it up. Do you ever do collaborations with other artisans, that sort of thing?
So I do a lot of art collaborations.
Okay.
Um, Take pretty much famous artists. So I've done with Yul Damasteel, I've done with Jake Renaker, quite a few of the art guys because I like to get them to hand paint the scales.
Yeah.
Um, it also opens a good market for me because if those guys have got a couple of thousands of followers on their Instagram, it's the same type of collector. So a guy collecting art will collect razors, will collect cars, will collect that type of thing. So I don't do much collaborations with other makers,
Okay.
but I collaborations with other fields.
Sure.
So like artists, like car designs, like a lot of the guys in the automotive industry will make a razor that's the same color as a car, the same carbon fibers. It'll come with a leather bag that fits in the car.
Right.
And I had quite a nice collaboration. Must have been about 18 months ago, where we've got a bespoke suit maker in South Africa,
Yeah.
and we started making the suits with a razor pocket, like
That's
the
great.
mods.
Yeah.
It was a three-piece suit. It had the razor in the razor pocket, and the razor scales were actually made out of the suit material. And the inners for the razor were the inners of the jackets
That's
that
fantastic.
are cast in red, things like that. So yeah, it fits into so many different other industries. And I think to get the education across, you've got to fish in other ponds.
Indeed,
You
indeed. But I haven't heard a lot of people say that. So that's again quite unique and a very smart way to purvey, your wares and your styles.
because through the years of making razors, I figured out knife collectors are not razor users.
No.
Razor users are a unique bunch of people on their own, and they've got their own habits. A lot of guys collect art, a lot of guys have fancy cars, a lot of guys have fancy luggage, and they've all got certain things that they collect. That's why they get into razor collection. So I try and market my brand around other brands that are similar to guys that'll be using a straight razor.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. And so far
Like
so good, I imagine.
I often bite my tongue at like Blade Show Atlanta, being the only razor maker among 1,000 knife makers. is it the right market, and things like that. But I've been lucky every single year that I've been in Atlanta. I've done exceptionally well
That's great.
because maybe there's no competition or that type of thing. But yeah, I still think razor making's got to do with it. It's not a distinguished gentleman, it's a bespoke gentleman.
Yes.
You know, guys who do like doing something different, who like the traditional luggage, who like the traditional suit every now and again, to get dressed up nicely, to get on their cafe race and go do a distinguished gentleman's ride in a three-piece suit and that type of thing. So you've got to market yourself among that crowd more than the blacksmith with his big hammer and fire going in the background. So,
Right. Right.
and especially for my product is a luxury product, it is a branded product. I'm building a brand, so I need to be among branded items.
Right.
So also some of my marketing, I do a lot of whiskey tastings with like Glenlivet or Jameson and those type of guys. And I'll give a talk and a speech and try and introduce straight razor shaving into those crowds, because
Yes.
a guy spending a couple of $1,000s on a rare bottle of whiskey is a collector. So,
Indeed.
you know, it's to get into those circles.
Right. Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. And it's adjacent, so it's perfectly logical. So all those years at Vespa doing marketing certainly has informed you and paid off in that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. Do you do a lot of trade shows, a lot of traveling around to
I
purvey your
do a
wares?
lot of around. I'm still in 2 months if trade shows are worth what they're worth doing. Because when I was in the lighting industry and I came up with a lighting design and I did a trade show in the Czech Republic or in Spain or in Italy,
Yeah.
those prior days to Corona, you literally went with your old order book. And by the end of the show, you had 50 pages of orders filled
Oh,
out.
wow. Okay.
Um, since then, I think shows it's nice for people to meet you, but sales over the counter have definitely changed. So the
Sure.
spending habit of the consumer is definitely different. Um, it almost becomes an impulse purchase than a guy coming to order stuff for his retail outlet or shop or things like that.
Right.
So I did a trade show in Germany about 2 years ago. It wasn't even a knife show, it was the watch and jewelry show in Munich.
Yes.
So I inserted diamonds and sterling silver and all sorts of things into the razors and made them into jewelry. That's how I got into the jewelry show. And the response was basically exactly that. It was an impulse purchase of someone walking past and having a chance to buy a razor with a zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.4 carat diamond in the spine.
Yeah.
Um, no retail outlet orders and things like that. So
Interesting.
retail is gone into a thing where it's all available and internet type of thing. Guys are not, I don't think a lot of the retail guys are getting into the culture of meet and greet anymore. They just see what's popular, go to those websites, order in bulk, put it on their website and things like that. So there's definitely been a shift in how retail and consumer spending are going.
Right.
So
It's a lot less
it's a tricky
personable.
space we are.
Yeah. Sounds like it. So I guess in the end, you do need your own website and your own sort of mechanism to just
Yeah,
purvey.
absolutely.
Right. Do you the soaps and the shaving products, do you make those yourself or someone does that on your behalf?
Yeah, so I've got someone who's become quite a good friend of mine
Yeah.
over the years. He specializes in making soaps and all that type of
Great.
thing. He's also done it for about 14 or 15 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we developed a Wolf Blades range together. So it's his premium range. It is Wolf Blade branded.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not a soaps manufacturing guy. I know
Right.
nothing about chemistry, soaps, and stuff like that. So I've just gone to the best possible guy I could find. And
Sure.
we've had great success with that type of thing.
Oh,
So,
fantastic.
and I suppose when we go into co-branding other Wolf Blade products in the future, I'd probably co-brand like safety razors and shaving brushes and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, it'll do a quality inspection and things like that because I can't make everything. My business is about a unique straight razor. It's
Yeah.
been on my boxing and branding, and from the beginning, it's unique handmade razors. So
Sure.
that's the core business. So that's what I've got to concentrate on.
Fair enough. That's I like the focus, and sometimes diversifying like that does sort of dilute the brand itself. So stick to what works best and what you do best. You mentioned it earlier, but can we talk a little bit about the Wolf Club?
Okay, so Wolf Club, I've had this concept for about a decade,
Yeah.
and it came from basically living in South Africa, where the first question that everyone gave, well, the first response that got back from everyone was, "I'm too scared. I'm going to cut myself. I'm going to kill myself with a straight razor."
Yes.
So, funny enough, one day I actually Googled it to see if anyone died from shaving with a straight razor, and the result is no.
No, right. I imagine. A couple of nicks, a
So,
couple of scratches, but that's the learning curve.
so I went back to the drawing board and thought, what was the best way for a consumer to purchase a razor and not be scared to use it and still experience the use of it?
Yes.
And then it was like, okay, if we get the correct barber and we make it a fun event for the clientele and make it more exclusive and more VIP and everything that goes around it, we could actually get this whole project to work.
Yes.
After seeing a few of the John Wick movies where he walks in with his gold coin, so we've done a
Right.
Fox and Wolf coin, a Wolf Club coin, and when you walk into the barber shop, you put that on the counter, and like everyone will slow down and stop and like give you full attention.
Yeah.
You'll escorted to your shaving area where you'll have your hair cut and shave and things like that. Then your razor sits in a crystal cabinet or a glass cabinet in a razor cabinet in the barber shop for everyone to see. And the guy will take under lock and key and get your specific razor out, come to your barber chair, strop it in front of you. It's quite a nice show. Like everyone stops in the barber shop to see what's happening.
Absolutely.
Your razor will come to you on a tray, which has got a Glenlivet or a Jameson whiskey. It's got an espresso. It's got a cappuccino.
Yeah.
It's got everything you might need in that half an hour while you're waiting to have a shave. Then the barbers has had extra training, so you do get a bit of a better pamper than just a quick shave head shave. So you'll start off with a good 4 or 5 minute facial massage with the pre-shave oils. So
Yes.
they work that into your skin properly. Then you'll sit with a hot towel. From the hot towel, the barber will give you your best shave. So it'll be your down shave, your upstrokes, it'll be cross, it'll be wherever he can feel a little bit of hair, you'll make sure that piece of hair is gone.
Yeah.
You'll get another hot towel. You'll get a post-shave treatment, which is a good 4 or 5 minutes afterwards. And he ends it with the ice cold towel that you feel nice and refreshed. Even after all this, I've had guys fall asleep while having shaves.
That makes a
So
lot of sense. Absolutely.
we
Sounds
know it
incredibly
works.
relaxing and luxurious.
Yeah, then you'll have your razor hand once the guy cleans it in front of you so you can see it gets cleaned. He puts it back in the cabinet, and when you go up to the counter, you get your coin back. And so the coin is just a guarantee that your razor stays in the barber shop.
Sure.
If the razor is yours, so if you want to take that razor home with you, you're more than welcome, but then you've got to leave your coin for someone else
Ah,
to get that
interesting.
slot in the.
Got it.
So yeah, it's just a safety thing as well that you know that if your coin matches your razor, no one else can come use your razor while you're
Right.
at work or like that. So yeah, it's a unique club. Um, everyone that's involved with it now is really having a good time.
Sure.
Jamison approached us last year and they sponsor us a few bottles a year
Oh,
because they
wow.
can see the value
Of
in
course.
this little niche we're trying to generate.
That's
So
great.
yes, if you've got a barber shop in Canada that would probably be interested in this concept, then let's have a talk to them.
I
If it
will,
means me jumping to come visit you in person, that's what
it
it
would be
is.
a pleasure. I don't know if you've ever been, but Montreal, where I live, is a wonderful city, certainly in the summertime.
Yeah, I've flown over it now when we flew to Atlanta, but that's as
That's
close as
about
I've
it.
got to Canada.
Yeah. Fair enough. But I certainly have a couple of places in mind where I would go inquire because I think that that's a spectacular idea and it's really more and more. And, speaking as a designer, experiential or the experience of something has more and more weight. It's almost less about the brand and more about the experience that they're offering, which will
So
establish
it's
them.
quite nice because we've got a good few members now in the one barber shop that we've got in Pretoria.
Yeah.
And out of all those guys that were so scared to shave with the straight razor, they eventually bought a razor because they had the funds to do so. And the experience that they've had in the barber shop, all of them have then bought additional razors and started learning to shave at home as well. So it's definitely a natural progression. And it's a pamper that men don't get anymore,
That's it.
you know?
It's very luxurious and a thing of the past. Also, a great entryway into the world of straight razors and your product,
Yeah.
most certainly, because a lot of people figure it out on their own, like I did, with a lot of cuts and pain, and it wasn't the easiest process necessarily.
Well, the thing is, we've refined the process so much that we know how to give you the correct pre-shave. We know
Right.
how to prepare. We know how to prepare the beard properly or where it needs to be shaved. So that's half of your problem solved.
Indeed.
The shave you're going to get with one of my razors is not a shavette shave that you just got a Menora blade stuck in a razor that's been around forever.
Right.
And that's where they get the skin irritation. So guys are skeptical they're going to come out with the shaving rash and all that type of thing, where we take that completely out the equation. So when you leave the barber shop, you feel like $1 million.
Sure.
Your skin's never been so smooth. You don't wake up the next morning with the shaving rash, and that whole experience is like it's a wow. You like get up the next morning and think, "Fuck, that was actually worth something."
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially because a big thing is hygiene, I guess. So if it's your own razor and only used for you, that solves that problem.
Yeah, because I believe a few parts in the States now, um, some of the barbers are using the old vintage razors for their shaves.
Okay.
And apparently, legislation is not so strict now that so technically they can use same straight razor on multiple people as
Sure.
long as it's cleaned.
That's it. If you
It's
disinfect between shaves, I don't see the issue personally, but some people might have issue with it, which is a perfect segue to a question I ask all of my guests. Would you use another man's used soap? Would you purchase and use used soap?
a use soap.
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine the use soap. But my biggest problem, and I still fight with every single barber, they're all worried about the razor, but they're using the shave brush that's been used for the last five
Everyone.
months on 500 different people.
Right.
And that's to exfoliate the skin, take all the dead skin off. And so I would hate to see what a shaving brush in a barber shop looks like under a microscope,
Oh boy.
because I
Yes.
think there could be a cure for corona in that brush.
Fair enough. So you're right. It's not the razor itself, it's the brush. Yeah. I
So
wonder, I would imagine they clean it or disinfect it between uses, but I don't even know if
but that's the thing. Everyone focuses on the razor, not the
not the
tools,
not the
and even
tools, the
the
lather.
towels and everything like that. Like Wolf Club, ideally you should have your razor and your shave brush in the cabinet, and
Right.
then you know that it's only
It's
got your DNA on it.
exclusively yours. That's right. Interesting. Do you ever shave live on social media? Is that something you do?
Uh, I don't. I've tried, but I look like an absolute idiot.
Well, points
So,
for trying, I guess.
been fortunate enough for a lot of the guys who use Wolf blades to do a lot of videos, and I've got tons of guys all around the world doing shave videos with Wolf
Yes.
blades, and it's given me, I suppose, the get off free card.
Fair enough.
So,
Well, to me, just
yeah,
knowing that you shave your head with a straight razor, that's I don't necessarily need to see it, but it's certainly inspiring. And maybe to others as well, because that's not a common thing. Most people are way too fearful.
yeah, unfortunately, like even my arms have got no hair because I do have to test every
Right.
razor coming out. So you like test if there's a hair growing out, I will get a shave.
Sure. Fair enough. But I mean, tried and tested, as they say, right? Um, so,
Absolutely.
so what do you do outside all of this straight razor manufacturer and small empire that you're building?
Uh, just we've moved to a small little coastal town in a nature reserve. So I
Oh,
spend, even my dogs are here with me in the workshop. I spend a lot of time walking on the beach,
yeah,
thinking about stuff. Um, and yeah, we walk in the morning, evening, watch sunrise, watch sunset.
beautiful.
I was very big into triathlons and Ironmans and stuff like that. So I've started cycling to work,
Okay,
and I was just humble life into what's a good quality of life, or what are you chasing, you know?
of course.
So I'm in a very sweet spot at the moment. I've got a nice little business which is enough income to support the lifestyle,
Yeah,
and I don't want anything else at the moment, you know.
that's
I'm quite
wonderful.
content with what I've got.
Yeah, that sounds great. Are you a Cape Town native, or is that a new place for you?
No, it's a new venture for us. We were always in Johannesburg based in a big urban city,
Yeah.
which is now rotten. So it was an option of moving to Scotland, where my wife's family is.
Okay.
Um, just couldn't stand 10 months of rain and cold weather.
Right.
Um, Cape Town is still an option, but it is a bigger city. So we up the west coast. It's
Okay.
about 140 kilometers from Cape Town,
Yes.
but we're in a national park. So we're surrounded by nature and sea life and lagoons and undamaged beaches, and 90% of the time when I walk the dogs in the morning in the beach, we got the first footprints in the sand. So
Wow.
it's
Sounds idyllic. Have you been
absolutely.
have you been there for a long time where you currently are?
We moved here at the beginning of the year,
Okay. So
set
still
up shop and things like that. Yeah,
still relatively new for you then.
yeah.
Okay. Any future plans for Wolf Blades?
Yes. So, like I said, my firm goal is now number one to make the ultimate razor. I still don't think I've got to it.
Okay.
Like I say, fuzzy feeling on every razor I make is slightly better than the other. So I'd like to see the razor that's coming off my workbench in 10 years from now.
Right.
And I think to get Wolf Club up and running to 10 shops around the world, I think that will
Okay.
be the perfect recipe for a good, successful business.
Sure.
Like you say, it'll be producing for the 10 barber shops and producing for the internet sales coming through. But it is limited to that 200 to 220 blades a year, which I'm capable of making. I
Of
can't make
course.
more than that,
Right.
which does make Wolf blades more and more exclusive. Um, but then, obviously, in conjunction to that, to get the brand up is to start another Dover or another Mule or one of those guys and start introducing other shaving products and ranges to the brand.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the brand has grown exceptionally well in the last like 10 years. A lot of people recognize it. The word
Sure.
gets around, things like that. So if you're building a good brand, just partner up with good products, and stick to your knitting, make the razors exclusive, and just have other products that can match.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm quite impressed by your branding, and that's what sort of drew me to you and allowed me to find you on this big internet of ours, and reach out to talk. So I'm glad that I did that, and it's quite a fascinating story. I tip my hat to you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
I still trying my way around these algorithms and all that type of thing because I am 56, going on 57 now. I still think I'm a youngster at heart.
sure.
I still don't mind jumping on a bicycle and doing a 100K ride.
That's
And
fantastic.
I'm trying to get my head around this internet and this social media thing and things like that. But to me, it's too fast. So
It
the
is.
algorithms change too quickly. If you're not spending money, they kick you out. If you don't have the right content, you like. So my biggest challenge is growing, obviously, followers and how to get more visible on the internet because I'm sure I can be 100 times more visible because I've got a unique story.
Sure.
It's learning these new ways, how these companies operate, and obviously it's like a pyramid scheme. So what I can like fathom together. So if you're prepared to spend $10,000 a month on internet advertising, you'll be on 50,000 followers. If you're not, it's very difficult because you're in that bottom tier and you just swirled around the mud.
Agreed. Agreed. But as you said before, it's ever changing every week. As a designer, in fact, every week their specs are different in terms of, how things fit and sizes and such. So it's infuriating to try to keep up. And, I'm no spring chicken
Yeah,
either. I'm only a couple of years behind you in age. So, it's for the young kids, but I'm hoping that it'll evolve to the point that it extinguishes itself, which might just happen. So, we'll
yeah.
see.
For me, it would be just if I could find a constant medium where I know which marketing to focus because I don't know. Do I take a video today? Do I take a still shot? Do you take a reel? Do you do
Right.
something stupid? Do you put a green wig on? What do you do?
I'll tell you,
So
just
as a
shave your,
business owner, it's quite
yeah. I was just gonna say, just shave your head with a straight razor on the internet. Do an Instagram reel or story or whatever, and I think that that's all you need. Because people will be
maybe
so
I'm
so impressed. Um, it's as easy as that. But I agree, it's very hard to navigate all of this social media stuff. But I really hope that it's a passing trend. And in this little podcast of mine, I try to amplify artisans like you because it's important, and it's important to do so to a targeted community instead of sort of buckshot through all of these
yeah,
social media platforms.
perfect.
And that's it. That's my story. It was great to get your story. It was really a pleasure speaking with you today, Trevor, and I really appreciate you making the time to do so.
Absolutely.
So thank you
So
again.
yeah, thanks for your time and your interest and letting me get onto your podcast and get out to a few listeners that don't know my product and would like to get to my product.
Sure.
It's available. I am open to designs. If you want something ridiculous, give me the challenge. I love the challenges.
And it,
Um,
it
I,
sounds like you would knock it out of the park, as they say.
yeah,
Um, right. Well, looking forward to trying one of your razors. And of course, to the listeners, always a pleasure having you on board. And I appreciate you tuning in and listening. And thanks
okay,
again
thanks, Ray.
to you, Trevor. And we'll speak to you next time.